Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Product of the 80s podcast. I am the host of this show, especially this particular episode, and I have an esteemed, world renowned, hard-working real estate mogul, Marko Buljan, in the building. Welcome, 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 brother. Welcome.
Jamar, thank you for having me on the show. It's an honor to be here.
Man, it's an honor. It's an honor to have you on. I definitely appreciate you coming through, showing some love and allowing me to get the chance to have a conversation with you, so I can have those that listen and those that are interested and those that also support you get a chance to hear not only the things that you have going on from a professional standpoint, but also get to understand the life lessons or the story behind the man and the journey and what it took for you to get from A to B, or maybe even, I guess we're at C now, but to get to this point of your journey, brother. So I appreciate you once again on behalf of me and the rest of True Films or True Entertainment Films. And so thank you again.
I appreciate it. It's been about a
Man.
10-year journey, 10-year journey to get to where I am today.
Wow, 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 wow. So I guess one of my most curious things is I have all kind of different friends from all different ethnicities and backgrounds. And but I would say besides our friend we have in common, Marco, and I have never really got to talk to him about it. I guess I want to take it to the beginning. You're from California, right?
Yeah, born and raised in San Mateo, California.
Sweet, sweet Cali. What's up? But so with that saying, you're also Croatian American, right?
Correct. Both of my parents came over to the U.S. at various times, so I'm the first person in my family born in the United States.
Sweet, 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 sweet. So I learned through our friend that there's a pretty big Croatian community here in the states, and they're pretty tight knit, very well like organized, and a lot of things that go on where the community looks out for each other, takes care of each other. So saying that, and I think that's super dope, and that's a very good thing. What was it like for you growing up? Because I'm sure you're growing up. Your parents grew up Croatian. They're going to try to raise you the way that they grew up, or what they're used to. But you're also in this whole other culture of a world of this mess we call the U.S. with all these different things going on. So was it a struggle, or was it you having to fight for the free, whatever it was?
So my parents actually met at the Croatian church in San Jose, and I've been a part of
Okay.
that community from a very early age. The Croatian community in the U.S. Centered around a few cities. Cleveland's one of them.
Okay.
San Jose, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York. So there's a
Wow.
pretty good. Yeah, there's some areas where there's larger Croatian communities and events, and I've been going to those events my whole life. I've met many people in the community, and it's definitely a big part of my life.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 So besides growing up with the with that such that big community, I also got to check out and see somebody on here plays a little ball.
Oh yeah, you saw my videos?
Yeah, I see your video. This is somebody's a hooper, man.
Yeah. I got some highlight videos of me dunking. Takes a little bit of practice nailing those kind of shots, but I'm a hooper. I like to ball.
Nice, nice.
If anyone wants to play some pickup basketball, call me on your team.
Hey, hey, hey! I like it. I like it. I like it. I was the kid that would play. I was athletic, very athletic, but I was a football player first and foremost. So I was a super uber athletic guy that none of the guys wanted on their team except for the fact I played good defense because I'd be bumping the guys like we back on the football field.
I can tell you one thing: I wouldn't want to go up against you on the football field.
Hey man, I don't know. You look with them ups you got. I don't know, bro. You ain't gonna be leaping over me like them guys be getting done in the.
But a fun fact: I actually went to Tom Brady's high school, so kind of grew up
Wow.
in like a football community. Junipero Serra High School in San Mateo, California.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Barry Bonds went there as well.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
some legendary athletes have come out of that school.
Oh man. So I'm just gonna tell everybody that out of San Mateo, you was like one of
David
the best hoopers
Bakhtiari,
ever.
uh, tackle on the Green Bay Packers.
Dang. So that school got some legacy behind it. In that city, San
Yeah.
Mateo did too. Also, okay, all right. So you're growing up, strong community, strong family foundation, and if you could tell me what kind of kid was Marko in high school? Were you the quiet, shy? Were you like the just very popular? Like,
So I went to a all guys high school in San Mateo, Unipro Serra High School, and it's pretty much
okay.
just school and sports. And then when you get home, you fall asleep, do your homework, and it was that on repeat for 4 years. So my sports in high
Wow.
school were water polo and swimming. So
So,
I did that all 4 years.
water polo. I have never ever seen or got to play or talk to anybody that's done water polo. I think is dope. Like from I've seen it on TV, but I've never seen it in person. And I've always been like, man, because I can't swim that damn good. I'll be out there being drowned.
You gotta tread water with your hands up all day for hours, nonstop swimming. If you can't swim, it's gonna be a tough sport.
Dang, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just stick to track football and a little bit of baseball.
Yeah.
Um, so from there, Marko, do you know immediately college is coming up or whatever case? Do you know immediately like what where you're going or what you want to do, or you're going into the next level like just eyes wide open, like I don't know.
Well, in college, I knew I wanted to stay local. I applied to most of the Bay Area schools. And then
Okay.
when I got into Santa Clara University, I said, that's the school I'm going to. And I graduated with a bioengineering degree over there in 4 years.
Damn, biology. Okay, so from school, and I by the way, I lived in the Bay before. I used to live in Vallejo. I lived out there
Okay,
for about
nice.
just about a year. So I do miss the Bay. And some people who've never been to California or really got to or just been to LA, I always tell them it, up north and down south of California is two whole different vibes. Two whole different
NorCal and
vibes.
SoCal.
Yeah, yeah, it's just two whole different vibes. And I like the vibe of NorCal. I mean, NorCal a lot better than I do the South Cal, in my opinion. And I don't want no people
Yeah,
get mad at me because I got
Nor
people out there.
Nor
But
NorCal's more, Silicon Valley tech companies. We got the Warriors and the Giants up here. SoCal is more Hollywood, and they got the
mm,
Dodgers and the
yeah,
Lakers, which we got our rivalries here.
yeah, yeah. So you graduate school. When does the real estate bug happen?
Well, I think it was in school at Santa Clara University. I was walking around and I'd see different names on buildings, and I saw this one guy's name, Sobrato. And I'm like, I'm wondering who John Sobrato is. And it turns out he's a big real estate developer, has built a lot of great campuses in Silicon Valley. He's made big donations to the university. And I'm like, that's something to aspire to be like, a person like that who's done so good and given back to the communities he's been a part of.
That's dope. So Sobrato, you do your research, and then you see what all these things that this man has accomplished, and I'm sure it's a lot of it primarily through real estate. So from then on, like, what was your first what was your first action or first chance of dipping your toes in? Like, how did you
Man,
get started?
I was applying for every real estate company out there, getting turned down left and right, and then finally got hired by a big national company called Marcus and Millichap, and I
Okay.
started out there for about 2 to 3 years before I transferred to another real estate company after that.
Mm. So going through that, what was your first? I want to make sure I ask right. Do I want to say purchase or first deal? Do you remember like your first big deal that you were part of?
Yeah, it was actually a neighbor's house, a duplex in San Mateo. I found out they were selling. My dad said, "Hey, the neighbor might be selling their house. You should give them a call." So I gave them a call, and they said, "Yeah, we'd love you to sell it. So that was my first transaction. That's one of the ones you always remember, the first one.
The first one. How old were you? How were you in your first one?
I must have been 23 at that time.
Wow. Okay. So you got your first taste of it. Do you like? I know you remember like the. I'm sure there was excitement there, but were you hooked in after you got your first sale? Like, was it like done? Like you
There,
like I'm all the way in.
for me, it was like there was a lot of uncertainty, knowing what I'm doing. Am I doing things right? Is this how it's supposed to be done? And real estate's a kind of thing where uh, you keep working and you keep learning. You're never going to learn
Mhm.
everything on the first day. And I don't think, you know, there's not a day that goes by where I don't learn something new, which is
Got it.
pretty
Got it.
exciting.
Yeah. So it's always evolving. Things are changing. The market's always moving. Things are up, down, left, right, A, B, B, A, select, star.
Yep, yep.
um. So you go through that, and do you? I'm sure you got to remember your first big time, like big money, high figure uh deal before we got to where you're at now, but that first big time deal, like for the first one, you're like, wow, I just sold this, or this just happened for a lot of money.
Well, I'd say I was getting a lot of singles, doubles, triples my first, 7 or so years in the business. And then
Okay.
last year, actually, I had one of my biggest deals. I sold a shopping center in Los Gatos, California for $36 million. And
Woo! I'm gonna go ahead and give you props on that one, brother. Give you props on that one.
that was one of the biggest challenges. That was a 7 month transaction full of ups and downs. It was quite a roller coaster, but
Mm,
to move that kind of real estate takes a lot of work. Uh,
right.
it's it was a great
A lot of
learning
lawyers
experience for
involved.
me. What was that?
I said a lot of lawyers involved.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
Man, I
Uh,
can only imagine. I can only imagine.
they must have wrote a textbook.
So 36 million. That's big. That's big. There's people who have been doing it their whole life and don't even and sold a lot and do very successful and still doesn't equate or add up to, you know, 10 or 20 million. So uh a lot of kudos and a lot of props on it. So you go and tell me when does Taycon come into the picture? First and foremost, I got to say I am talking to the VP of Taycon Properties and Real Estate. So how did this come about? Where was the dream, the vision, the group, or how did this come to be?
I joined Take On about 2.5 years ago and got connected to the owner through a mutual friend. And um, it's a boutique real estate firm with very high level of services and specialization in commercial real estate sales. So it felt like a great place to um, go to learn about commercial real estate. And so that's how I made my decision.
Nice, nice. Now, do you prefer commercial over I don't want to call it personal. What do you commercial over
Residential.
dealing more over residential? Yeah, which one do you prefer more?
Uh, I prefer commercial more, but you're always dealing with residential too. So there's always friends that I help out with when it comes to either buying a home or signing a lease or reviewing some real estate documents. I help my friends out with that all the time. But professionally, it's more so uh, commercial. That's where there's a lot of excitement. That's where you're, designing properties and figuring out, what kind of tenants are going to fit well here. What is this community missing? What do they need?
Right.
Um, so that's what's fun about it. You can walk into a city and say, hey, maybe the city needs a new hospital, or maybe the city needs, you know, a new arena or shopping center, or and every city's different.
Yeah.
So that's what's fun about commercial real estate. It's there's a lot you can do.
You're not just thinking about. compared to residential. You're not just either taking something to start here or thinking about it at one, just one variable fact. Well, smaller variable factors compared to where you got commercial. You're looking at a community and you're thinking
Yeah.
about what the so it's a lot more into the process. I get it. I understand. I think I find it fascinating because you got a chance to also to create or to bring something to an area that is much needed, like they're lacking or that's going to do very well. And I'm sure that has to be rewarding when you bring, especially when you're part of bringing something that turns out to be like it's a success, like it takes off how you expect it
Yeah, I love it. When I see a property, I can identify, what needs to be done almost right away. I can say, you know, this is what's going to make it better. How can you make the highest and best use out of a property? And for me, that's there's a lot of enjoyment in that, trying to figure that out and help people with that. More importantly, because it's usually people coming to me saying, "Hey, what can I do here?" Or they have some questions about their real estate, and that's where my light bulbs in my head go off with different ideas and thoughts. And hey, have you tried this or have you tried that? And um, there's always a solution out there with real estate that makes it fun. And I like solving those kind of problems.
yeah, I can imagine it's never no, I can imagine it's never boring or it's never mundane because each project, each thing comes with different challenges, new things for you to learn about, new people, and new ways to network. So I want to say that brings me to what are some of the biggest lessons you've had to learn along the way as you've gone on this journey?
I think being persistent and having follow through, those are two big lessons. You know, Listening to yourself and what you believe in. Not letting other people tell you, this is how something has to be done, where you see it a different way. And um, so just having confidence in yourself and your abilities, and canceling noise out and focusing on your goals and tasks at hand. um, you know I'd say those are some of the biggest lessons.
Okay. Um, would you say that the business, your business that you deal within or that world, is it a? I know it's extremely competitive, but do you also have to kind of deal with like a lot of sharks or just like a lot of it's a very cutthroat.
The real estate industry has that kind of stigma to it, where people think there's a lot of sharks and it's cutthroat and this and that. But it's more hard work and being able to do the job. There's a lot of people that can make big promises but then
Right.
don't follow through. um, so it's just about identifying which people you can work with. uh, you know is there a way to get from the start of the finish line to the end of the finish line? um, you can almost you can see a shark in the water when it gets too close, and when you see one, yeah, I better not swim there. So you know
um, yeah, I definitely can see that. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always reality TV, and you see what's going on with all these different shows, and then you kind of get to meet some people who are in it, and a lot of times I've heard more or less what you said. Yes, there it can, just like with anything, you can have those cutthroat things, but then a lot of times there's a lot of people who are helpful or the objective is to succeed. And if they can bring somebody else in on the deal or utilize somebody else and y'all help each other out, I've seen a lot of that too, a lot of camaraderie
hmm
and coming together to make it happen. Doesn't mean that they're gonna be your friend on the next deal, but yeah.
yeah, real estate deals, projects, developments. You want to have good people around you, people that you can work with, and that if you have a good team, anything can happen. It's like anything. So if you have the right people around you, I think there's nothing that can stop you.
Um, what was the hardest the hard, I don't want to say mistake. Let's say the hardest thing you had to your hardest thing you either had to overcome, or something that just taught you like a major lesson. It might have been a setback, but you walked away from it better in your craft. If you can remember like something where you were like, man, like I cannot believe I messed it up or whatever.
Well, I got fired from the first company I worked for, and that was a big setback. Being told, "Hey, you're not good enough to be here. You're not producing
Damn.
enough," and especially when you're really passionate about something, hearing that's like, you know, some people might say, "Yeah, I'll give in and walk away," but I was like, that's one person's perspective and opinion. Mine's different. I see other uh, things he's not seeing, and but that was a big kind of
Yeah,
letdown at the time. But I learned, keep your head up, keep working, don't give up, and keep following what you're passionate about, and eventually you'll be surprised how you can achieve your goals and
yeah,
set new goals as well.
yeah. I'm sure everybody can remember their first time getting fired. I know for me, it was gut wrenching. Like I was like, what did I do? Like I cried. Like I was like, especially I got fired for something I didn't do, and so you feel there's nothing more than feeling powerless, especially when if it comes and it hits you when you're not expecting it, or you just feel like you haven't done nothing wrong, or you maybe even in your case you were like, yo, I'm still learning it and getting it, and then you get sideways, especially when somebody doesn't believe in you or believe you.
Yeah, I mean, getting fired sucks, but it's a part of life. A lot of us have been there, and the most you can do is learn from it, grow from it, and not let it be a setback.
Yeah, yeah. You have to grow and learn. It's all it take it as I take it always as a lesson, never a loss.
Hmm.
For me to help me push through. So Taycon is not just United States. You guys are like global.
Well, I'm
Well,
opening I'm opening a company in Croatia right now. It's going to be a real estate development company. It's a new company that I'm forming,
oh wow,
separate
okay.
separate from
Separate,
Take On
okay.
United States. And this is actually in the works as of last couple days.
Mm,
I have a presence over there already with some properties that I own, and I'm going to be working on developing those and turning them into some nice projects that hopefully I can enjoy, and that hopefully other people can enjoy as well.
wow, man. I'm super, super definitely excited for you and proud. I know this is something that you've been from getting to talk to you before in a couple of meetings. I know this is something that you seem very excited about. Like this is a big step forward. I mean, forward for you. And so, man, this. If you ain't on the map now, it's going. There's a chance for this to really put you on the map for sure with these moves that you're about to make. So I know you were telling me that there were some other things that you were working on and that you wanted to share. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you wanted to bring those up now.
yeah, I'll bring those up. I mean, people have always asked me like, how to design a dream house, or how do you get started? And you've probably thought for yourself as well, like, where's my dream house going to be one day, and how am I going to get there? How am I going to do that?
Right.
Um,
Definitely.
so,
Yeah.
do you have a list, or do you have any ideas where you would do it?
If it was up to me, the dream. I know that the dream was just a dream. I used to always want to have a home in Venice, right? But I know that that's a waste of money because it probably won't be there like 10, 15, 10, 15 years. Um, so I would say it was always California, but it was like wanted to be like uh NorCal and kind of like up in a little bit more up north around that Sacramento area, but a little bit further inland, more towards the mountains and everything like that, over up that way.
But
That would be the dream. Yeah,
Venice, Italy was your one of your top choices.
Yeah, it was one of my top choices, but that was just a dream because again, I can't swim, so I don't know what the hell I'm thinking in the first damn place. But I've always just seen it, and it's so pictures, and it's just so beautiful, and I love water. Although everybody said I haven't been, it's a dream to go before it does sink, but everybody says it stinks.
Well, I've been to Venice, and it's one of my favorite cities in the world, and it was on my top 10 list of, if I were to have a dream place to live, Venice would be one of the cities. So we have something in common there.
Sweet, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. A lot
Yeah.
of people try to scare me away from like, man, it's cool, but it stinks, all the water and everything else and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, don't kill the dream. Don't take that from
Hmm.
me.
So
So
I was getting to, I made a list of, 10 places I'd want to live in the world. And, I had to start narrowing the list down. I had a lot of cities on there like New York City or, um, Hollywood or
right.
London, Paris, big cities. But eventually I had to narrow it down. And I picked Imotski, Croatia. That's my dad's town in Croatia. It
Hometown? Okay.
has a population of about 10,000 people. And I started looking for properties to buy there. And, my grandma found out and she said, hold on a minute. Why are you going to buy a property over there? I have one. No one's done anything with it. Um, so eventually, I inherited the property from my grandmother and was sorting out the title and all that for about 4 years. It was quite a lot of work to get the title clean. That's one of the biggest challenges in Croatia is having clean title on a property. So
Mm,
once that was taken care of, I started actually even before that I started designing my house. As soon as I made my list, uh, I started with some hand drawings. This is
okay.
like my little notebook here, but I started out with some hand drawings of what the house should look like, the kind of rooms I want to have in there. Um, and eventually I came to this product here, and I'm still in the design phase.
Okay, this is the one that you're gonna bring up so I can share it on the screen. It should pop up.
Um,
Oh, we just did. There we go.
all right.
And you ready?
Yep.
There we go. Mhm.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see. We can see this here. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So
That's your all your design.
these are my architect's designs with my input, and I wanted something modern, traditional, with a touch of Dalmatian architecture. And in Dalmatia, they use stone quite a bit. So I started coming up with designs and with the architect, and they're in the process of getting approved by the city.
That is
Um,
cool. That is real cool.
so that's just one project. I have a few other ones like that I'm
Now,
working
is
on.
that property is that property the grandma's property? That one right
Yes.
there? Okay. Okay. I wish you had a picture of what the you have a picture of what it looked like now before or when grandma had it?
Right now, it's just on a hilltop, and
That's got to be a
just
beautiful photo.
there's just some bushes and shrub, and it's just an empty lot on a hilltop. And
Okay.
your view is the valley of Imotski, which has two famous lakes, the Red Lake and the Blue Lake. So people come from all over the world just to see the red and blue lake in this town because they're right next to each other. One's red, one's blue.
Wow. Man, that's got to be cool though. And then the fact that the land is within your family, so you get to go develop and create something, especially something that you had a hand in designing, and be able to build it on your. That's got to be like a major, great feeling. Like just like man, people dream
Well,
of that stuff.
my biggest problem at the time was I didn't have property to do the development on. I had the ideas, the vision, everything else. I knew exactly the designs I wanted, and the only thing that was missing was the property. And through persistence and just following, my intuition, here, Grandma came to me and said, "Hey, I have a property." Uh, so it was pretty amazing how it worked out.
God's plan.
Yeah. The one
God's
condition was
plan.
you can't ever sell it, and it goes to your kids. So that she received it from her dad, and it was always in their family, and um, that's something maybe cultural too in Croatia,
Yeah,
especially the way the laws over there work is your property gets passed down by generation automatically.
that's
So
good.
yeah,
That's real good. Yeah, that's something that is definitely needed more over here, or not benefited from, because a lot of people like to just wow, let me sell it off. And I think it's better when you find a way to keep it in your family and pass it down, legacy, create a legacy, and your family something you should have and always
yeah.
keep.
So for
Um,
me, it's a lot of enjoyment going over there, back and forth, working on the different projects I have going on, and the house is a lot of fun. Obviously, that's I'm designing a house. I'm 6'9", so I'm designing a house that's custom built for
mhm.
somebody my height. So everything in that house. I was just in San Francisco the other day getting measurements for a custom mattress because Cali King is too small.
Too small,
I need a I
man.
need a I need a Croatia King.
Well, I've seen of through doing some research, and there's a lot of tall Croatians. I don't want to stereotype, but damn, there's a lot of tall Croatians.
Yeah, I think on the Dalmatian coast, the average height for guys is 6'4". I'm 6'9", so I bring that average up a little bit.
So, are you an only child? I didn't even know if asked you. Are you an only child? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have two younger brothers, Anthony and Joseph.
Okay.
Anthony went to UC Santa Barbara. Joseph went to USC, and they both
He one of
graduated.
them
And
Trojans. He's a
yeah,
Trojan. Oh
yeah.
man, ain't got time. Tell him we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school in Pennsylvania called a small school called Till. It was a small little
Uh,
private college. Till College. Till Tomcats. Yeah. It it was nobody. Well, let me
yeah.
not say that. Let me say it right. But a small school. But in college, I have a cousin who's from well, not college, but I have a cousin who's from LA. He's a big USC fan, and we fight all the time. And so
Okay.
anytime I get a chance to boo USC, I take full advantage of it.
I understand. They always seem to be winning in many of the sports they're playing in. So it's nice to see a new
So
new team win.
yeah. So who's the best hooper out of you and your siblings, or did your brothers even play or play like you played?
Um, I mean, I think I'd have to say it's me, but my two other brothers, they know how to hoop. They could um, put up a good one-on-one match. So if it wasn't me, maybe Anthony,
Okay.
the middle brother.
The middle brother, the young one, he's still a baby. Go tell him sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So, um, I want to learn if I can, while I still have you for a little bit. I want to learn more about like the Croatian culture and like the foods and like some of the traditions and like the things like in the culture, like and how you grew up and like what were like were there certain holidays or certain things that you guys celebrated that was more of a tradition or a cultural thing in your household, your home?
So Croatia's a pretty young country. I was kind of born around the same time it was declaring independence. It declared independence in 91. I was born in 92.
Okay.
So I was like one of the first, I guess, babies born in that time.
Okay.
Um, and So Croatia's been around for 30 years. They went through a difficult war where they were breaking apart from Yugoslavia, and many Croatian people have friends and family who lived through that and suffered through that war and everything that brings. And
Wow. Yeah.
that was tough. So to finally have your own country um, was a big thing. So the Croatian Independence Day is celebrated every year. That's always a big, um, big
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah.
And church holidays are big over there too. Christmas, Easter, and one of the biggest ones is called Velika Gospa, which means uh, like big Assumption of Mary, Big Mary. It's one of the biggest holidays in the summer where people come together for mass and picnics, and the picnics are full of roasted lamb, roasted pig.
Oh
Um,
man, I'm
we
hungry now just thinking about it. I love lamb.
we we make these little kebab type dishes called cevapi, and
Okay.
they're kind of like Croatian style burgers with minced meat and grilled on the barbecue, and um, they're at every party. So
Yeah, I think I see the video. Y'all was at somebody's house and cookout. Y'all, man, I seen like the food in the background, or y'all was in somebody's backyard, but the food in the background was looking so good. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to. I need to be there.
yeah, we're a big barbecue grilling culture, and we love to have good food, and that's one of the best part of all the events and parties is the food.
The food, man. I might, guess I'm gonna have to go leave. Tell my woman it's over. I'm gonna have to go find me a Croatian woman, so just so I can go get the food.
Well, you can come to Croatia anytime, and I'll take you to the best restaurants.
Hey, bro, I will hold you to it. I will be there. I don't know about the rest of the guys, but I'll go. I've never
If
turned
I'm
down
there,
food.
I'll show you. Or, even if I'm not there, I'll show you exactly where you got to go. So you got that taken care of.
Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot, Marco. Uh, while we're at it, so if you could, what like I want to say, because I'm still on learning about Croatia because I never really got a chance to talk to anybody or interview anybody from there. So what are like even like does the weddings even have like you guys even got to have like a tradition or a certain way you guys do weddings or certain things like that?
Weddings are an all-day event. I was just at a Croatian wedding last weekend,
Okay.
so I go to quite a bit of them, and it's an all-day event. Starts out with mass, in the morning or afternoon, and then goes all the way till 6 a.m. sometimes.
Yeah, to turn up, man.
The
Y'all party.
reception, yeah, with the
Croatians are
reception and
partiers,
dinner.
man.
Oh yeah, people are having a good time and they're in a good mood. The music's good. It's easy to stay out late for a good time.
That's good. That's good. So how were you for when your parents took you back for the first time? Well, took you for the well, they went back, but you actually got to go.
Uh-huh. So it's probably tough to remember. I think the first time I went, I might have been like one years old or two, so I wouldn't have remembered much. And then the second time after that, probably like four or five.
Okay.
But my earliest memories were, I'd say, hanging out with my grandfather over there in my mom's village and going to feed the chickens with him every day, getting eggs. Um, he lived in a village his whole entire life, 100% self-sustained lifestyle. He had his own water. He had his own livestock farms. Uh, Obviously, chickens, eggs. So just kind of walking around with him, seeing the kind of life he lived, that was um, pretty amazing for me. And I'm lucky I got to do that while he was still alive.
California boy coming back and then getting experience Croatia. I'm like, whoa, this is different. Eye
Yeah,
opening.
there was like maybe two or three TV channels at the time, and it was all in Croatian. Um, so yeah, there was no internet or anything like that. And you're in the village. There's not many options. You're probably 10 minutes or 15 minutes from the nearest gas station. So
That's
yeah,
cool. That's real
it's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I see that now. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know when I've seen it that we'll jump back into before we wrap it up. We'll jump back into the what we have going on. So, well, what you have going on currently now. So, besides you striking out on your own and growing and investing back home in Croatia, well, in your parents' homeland, but back to where your family and everybody is from in Croatia. And I know that I've seen that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I hope I did my research right. Like Taycon has not only big like in different spots in the U.S. but also is it Canada? Did I see that right?
Um, we're right now in just the United States, California, but
Okay.
I am working on a big project in Half Moon Bay, California. I'm selling a
Mm,
shopping center. This is a $39 million shopping center, and I'm in the middle of that sale process right now. So
okay.
one after the other. I did one last year, and now have this opportunity again this year. And
You feel a lot more confident this time around after the last deal, like well, at least more comfortable. Let's
definitely,
just
definitely, I have. I know a lot more now about what's going on, how the process works, and um, how to get from the beginning of the finish, the start to the end.
right.
It's a pretty clear vision, and it's this is going to be a fun project. I'm hoping it gets wrapped up in the next few months, which I think it will.
Yeah, yeah. I have a old coworker of mine, and he's was always big. He would always tell me before he retired, he'd be like, "Yo, if you're gonna do real estate, do commercial. It's easier. It's better." He was like, "It's just you either sell a building or you're renting out the building. They mess it up, they got to fix it." He used to always say that and stuff like that. So he always says it was less headaches, and that's why, excuse me, he enjoyed doing commercial a lot more. And besides the fact that the money a lot of times was bigger money, but it was a lot easier for him on the back end part of it.
That's true. That's true. Most of the time, you'll find the tenants have to take care of certain things, but then the landlord also has a lot of responsibilities, and that shouldn't be underestimated too before investing in real estate. Landlords, especially in California, at the end of the day, are on the hook for almost everything that can go wrong with a property. So even if the tenant makes a bunch of promises, this or that, they could go bankrupt and be out of there the next day, and whatever problem
Wow.
they left behind, the landlord has to deal with it.
Okay. Yeah, so there's all if in any of them, there's always going to be risk to a risk to the reward, and then just ups and downs of it and
Hmm.
stuff. So yeah. So on average, when you're dealing with, I know we you talked about how long this one, I mean the big last one, the $36 million one, but on average with some of your smaller one, what is normally the turnaround time? On average, the turnaround time to make a deal happen.
That's a tough question because there's certain deals that I've been working on for years, and
Right.
there's certain deals that take a day. Everything's different. Um, So, if you're signing a lease for an apartment building or if you're buying a house, that's going to take you anywhere from 1 day to 30, you know, but,
Right.
those are kind of less work involved, but there's some
Right.
deals that, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And, yeah, there's some projects that I've been working on for years, and, um,
Man, that's got to be frustrating at points in times. Like, wow, we're still or just we're stuck at this or just different things, and this has to get frustrating.
No, it's fun. It gets more enjoyable as time goes on because you're getting closer and closer to that vision you had for the
Okay.
property. So for me, I enjoy it. It takes time, and there's wins along the way. It's not just one kind of, you know, it's not just throwing a dart on a board and hoping it sticks, but it's like,
Okay,
a lot of work, and making sure project gets from start to finish.
got you, got you, got you, got you. Wow, wow. So what's what's the next challenge for Marco as he goes from conquering and growing in real estate and property acquisition and just flipping and maneuvering, like what's, and I know we talked about over in Croatia the things, and you're expanding on your own. So is there anything else? Are you going to just like, are you just zeroed in on this? Do you work on other projects too, like besides playing basketball? What else can you find Marco doing, or what is the next thing you want to achieve?
Well, to be honest, one of my top things I want to achieve right now is I want to develop a village in Croatia, just similar uh, to the one my grandfather lived in. I want to develop a community that can be self-sustainable from the land surrounding them, and I think that would be a fun project to work on. And it's a lost art form in a way. No one's really doing it. Nowadays we have everything at our fingertips. You can order something on Amazon, get it same day. You
Mhm.
can go to the grocery store, get all the food that you could want. But people did live differently before, and it'd be a interesting lifestyle to be able to experience. Living somewhere and having your own food and water and supplies right there on that property,
Yeah,
even if it's for a short time.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. That's cool. When you build that village, or need help, let me know. You
I
listen. You
will.
can just feed you. You can pay me in food and alcohol, and I'm good.
Hey,
Feed me
we've
and give
got
me
plenty.
something to drink.
I'm actually looking for people that know how to stack rocks. There's in Croatia, uh, the borders of these properties were made by stacking rocks. Those were the fences.
Yeah,
So
I seen that on YouTube. Yeah,
you'll see like miles and miles of these stones just stacked, and wondering who did that. How was that
all
done?
done by
So
hand.
yeah, there's definitely some jobs over there, and a lot of food and drinks in exchange.
Yeah, I was watching. It's this guy, and I don't know if it's Croatia. I I, I want to say it was, but it was this guy, and he restored this house up on this hill, and he did it all. And it was by stone, like the house was built up with stone too, and he piece by piece, and then he's making sure it fits, and then he's cutting and doing the because part of it is log, and then the other part of it was stone, and then it's just cool when his neighbors would come and they would help, and he would feed them and everything else. But then I watched him, and it was like it's a lot of rocks, but he had to make sure like the rocks fit, or he breaking them so they fit in their place. And I just thought it was like super cool. And he did it, and it took him, I think, like 3 years, but he taped the whole thing and put it on YouTube, and it took him like 3 years. But to me, it was like that's got to be exhilarating to go and just restore something or just bring something, back or bring it to life again and do it, especially yourself, like with your hands and help of those that care about you or those that want to break bread with you. That has to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I would recommend if you ever go to Croatia, visit the city of Dubrovnik. It's one of the oldest cities in Croatia, all built out of rock. So this is a whole entire city built from rock. And back in the day, the way you got into the city is you brought a rock with you, and that was like your ticket in. Um,
That's cool.
but if you see photos of Dubrovnik, it's a big walled city, all made out of big white rocks, and it's pretty beautiful and amazing that it's still around today.
Man, I'm gonna have to take a whole bunch of time off work. You just gotta let me know. Give me like a year. Let me know when you're going back next year sometime, and then I have my all my days off, and I want to go with you because I want to go experience and see. Wait, I knew it was a question. I'm sure you can see my bar behind
Yeah.
me. But what do they drink over there in Croatia?
There's a lot of great drinks. I mean, this last summer in Dubrovnik, I was sitting next to David Beckham in his cabana. Yep.
What? Oh my man, you can't, bro. You just threw that out there so like nonchalant. Like I was sitting next to David Beckham and we were just sitting there just chilling. It's nothing.
And then that night, Shaquille O'Neal was the DJ in the nightclub. So that's what I'm telling you, man. You gotta go to Dubrovnik. It's you're gonna love it.
Man, that's a dope experience. Like, and I'm sure you're there, so you gotta act like you've been there before. So you're just sitting there chilling, but in the back of your mind, are you sitting there thinking like, yeah, this is
I don't
cool.
even,
This is cool.
I don't even see these guys in Hollywood, let alone Dubrovnik, Croatia. But it's a hot spot now in the summertime, especially. People from all over the world are coming there, and you got beaches, food, yachts. It's like the
The
place to
beach is real
be.
beautiful.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. And if you know the locals, they'll take you to the best beaches. They'll take you to the hidden sand beaches on islands and things like that.
So besides the lamb and besides maybe the chicken and even some of the pig, what's like the best? I now you done made me hungry and I'm curious. I know I gotta let you go, but what's like are is like the seafood good over there or like what? Like what's your favorite dish?
Seafood is amazing over there. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to fish, but I can eat shellfish.
Okay, okay.
So one of my favorite seafood dishes is it's called shkampen buzaru, which is basically the Adriatic shrimp with a red saute sauce.
Oh man. Yeah.
So
I'm telling my brother.
a little bit of tomato sauce mixed with olive oil, white wine, whatever chopped vegetables you can think of. You saute that together with the shrimp, and it's like phenomenal. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so the seafood over there is fresh. It's caught daily. It's a big, fishing country, and all the restaurants have the fresh local seafood. So that's what's pretty cool. You'll get seafood there that you can't get anywhere else.
Man. Oh man, oh man. I'm hungry now. I don't even have no shrimp. I don't even have no frozen shrimp over there. So I'm just gonna be someone's wondering if Red Lobster is still open.
Oh
Yo,
man,
Marco, I want to thank you, brother, for allowing me this opportunity. I want to give you the opportunity, if you so choose to any shout outs to any people that you want to send shout outs to, or associates or friends of yours, or whatever the case, or just any other things you want to talk about you having going on, any businesses you want to advertise, friends, businesses you want to advertise, shout it out, brother, like before we close it up.
uh, I'll give a shout out to my cousin Matthew. He's probably watching right now. Uh,
Matthew,
he's working for me at with my company in Croatia, and I'm going to give a shout out to my girlfriend Mariana. She's watching as
Mariana.
well.
Yeah, Mariana's got big things coming up. Yeah,
Yeah. I know she was out in Cleveland filming some things with your company.
yeah. I was excited, man. I'm so mad we didn't get to hang out, but I got to talk to her on the phone with you. She just sounds she's wonderful. Famed famed to be actress, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Croatian film is big, so
yeah.
I'm excited about it, and yeah, I'm loving what you guys are doing with Truth Films.
And we just trying to grow. I'm happy that what I'm saying we may even get the chance to go to Croatia to do some filming over there and stuff like that. So I'm excited what the future holds. So
Absolutely, I love it.
uh, yeah. Anybody else? You shout out Matthew. You shout out Mariana. We got who else we got? No, except for
I'll
your
give
brother that went to USC. Don't mention him no more.
I'll give a shout out to my family, and I'll give a shout out to my little nephew Rocco. I know he's
Okay.
watching right now.
Sweet man. I know your family has to be proud. proud of what you guys are doing, and you all seem supportive. So I'm sure everybody's out there doing their thing and bringing something to the table and keeping it alive. And I just need to find one of your single cousins so I can marry into the family, and the house can get passed down to me too.
Yeah, I've got plenty. So if you go over there with me, you might get hitched.
Sweet, I'm never coming back to the States. Gonna have to build me a rock wall.
Oh, there's plenty of those kind of houses over there. I can find you one.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, you are the one to go to for all my property needs. I appreciate you.
I
So, was there
appreciate it.
anybody else before we forget anybody?
Oh man, we could be here all night if I got to go down the whole list. So I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. All right. Well, brother, I want to definitely, Marko Buljan, I want to definitely thank you again for coming on. And to all our listeners, to all those that are our family members, thank y'all for watching. For those that left comments, thank you for supporting. And I want to wish you nothing but the best success, Marko, in your journey forward. Thank you for the informative information. Thank you for the information and just the knowledge on learning about Croatia. Um, and also, thank you for just throwing it out there like it's just another regular day. You got to chill with David Beckham and listen to Shaq DJ. I mean, I don't know, but I need
That's
to
just a
choose.
typical day. That's just a typical day in Dubrovnik.
Man, I'm so jealous. I want to send a shout out to the whole Truth Entertainment Films crew. Send a shout out to the other Marko for helping put this together. I want to send a shout out to my bro Jeremiah. And again, this is the Truth Entertainment Films brought to you by AAA Productions. I am Black V. This is Product of the 80s podcast. And I want to thank you all. I'm going to play my new outro. And God bless y'all. And good night.